18. The repair rule. You snapped, or misunderstood, or just said the wrong thing. It wasn't huge, but you know it shifted the energy. The air felt different after. Here's the move most people miss. Small harm still deserves small repair. Not a full apology speech, just a moment of awareness. Hey, I think I came off a little sharp earlier. Didn't mean to. That single sentence rebalances the room. Because repair isn't about groveling. It's about restoring safety. When people see you take accountability, especially for little things, they trust you with bigger ones. 17. The emotional math rule. Someone you care about is distant. Not cold, not angry, just off. You do the math in your head. Did I do something? Are they upset with me? What changed? Here's the rule. Not all emotional distance is about you. People have internal weather, storms you can't see, forecasts they don't always know how to explain. The emotionally intelligent move isn't assuming blame. It's assuming context. So you check in, not with pressure, just with space. Hey, you feel a little far lately. Want to talk or just want me around? That question, it doesn't demand, it offers. And often, it's the bridge someone needed to find their way back. 16. The quiet credit rule. Someone shares an idea in a group and it lands. The team loves it, but you remember, they floated that idea with you last week. Uncertain, hesitant. You don't need to broadcast it. You don't need to make it about you. But in the follow-up, you say, I remember when you were still shaping that idea. You really brought it to life. That's quiet credit. The kind that costs nothing but gives everything. Validation behind the scenes. Affirmation without spotlight. Support without ownership. This is how confidence grows, not just from what people achieve, but from who affirms that they did. 15. The mirror rule. You're around someone who keeps saying, sorry, for everything. They bump you slightly. Sorry, they start a sentence. Sorry, I was just going to say, and your instinct is to say, it's okay. But the mirror rule offers something gentler, something stronger. Instead of accepting their apology, offer a new rhythm. Try, no need to apologize, I'm glad you spoke. Or, you didn't interrupt, you joined. People mirror what they see. And when you reflect back assurance, they start to rewrite their own dialogue. You help them feel like less of a burden and more like they belong. 14. The exit rule. You're leaving a hangout. Everyone's relaxed. The energy is good. And someone says, we should do this again. Here's where most people fumble. They say, for sure, and walk away. But the exit rule is this. If you mean it, say it in detail. Try, same time next week, or I'll message you about dinner Friday. Because vague warmth feels good in the moment, but it evaporates fast. Concrete plans make warmth real. Endings matter. They write the final line of a shared page. And people remember who closed the chapter with intention. 13. The invisible help rule. You're cleaning up after a group dinner. Everyone's chatting, winding down. You quietly start stacking plates, clearing wrappers, refilling the water jug. No announcement, no performance. Someone notices, smiles, joins you. But even if no one does, something shifts. The room breathes easier because someone made the load lighter. This is invisible help. The stuff that never makes it to thank you speeches. Holding the door, refilling the printer, charging the spare battery, picking up what someone forgot. It's emotional janitorial work. Quiet, constant, crucial. You don't get credit, but you give stability. And in the long run, that makes you unforgettable. 12. The bystander rule. You're in a conversation and someone makes a weird joke, a harsh comment, a too personal jab disguised as humor. Everyone laughs nervously. You feel your gut pull. You have two choices. Let it slide or shift the energy. You don't have to lecture. You don't have to make it a scene. You just need to redirect. A glance, a question, a shift in tone. Hey, let's not go there. Or let's keep it kind. The bystander rule isn't about confrontation. It's about calibration. A subtle correction to let people know this space has standards. That kindness isn't optional. That comfort for one shouldn't cost discomfort for another. The people who do this, they make rooms feel safer without a word about it. 11. The ripple rule. You're leaving a room, maybe a meeting, maybe a party, maybe just a shared moment with strangers, and you say something kind, not huge, not performative. Just thanks for making space for that. Or that was a good laugh. I needed it. It lingers longer than you think because words, when authentic, ripple outward. The ripple rule means that small moments of presence echo in people's memory longer than grand gestures. You don't always see the impact of what you said, but it can be the things someone replays on a lonely night, the small reminder that they mattered in that moment, that their presence wasn't invisible, that connection happened. 10. The spotlight rule. You're in a group setting. Someone is sharing a win, maybe a new job, a small success, or a personal breakthrough. You're proud of them. So proud, in fact, you jump in and add, tell them what you told me last week, that thing about your boss, or didn't I tell you it would work out? I knew it. But you don't see it. The slight drop in their expression, the way they shrink instead of shine. You didn't mean to steal the spotlight, but you tilted it your way. The spotlight rule is simple. When someone is finally claiming space, let them have it fully. Don't narrate their story. Don't center your prediction. Don't wrap it in your involvement. Let them own the mic. Let the light stay where it belongs. Celebrating someone well means stepping back, not stepping in. 9. The pause rule. You're in the middle of a deep conversation, not dramatic, just real. Your friend is sharing something that clearly took courage to say, something they've probably replayed 100 times in their head. Then comes the silence. Not awkward, not uncomfortable, just space. And your instinct is to fill it with advice. advice, with a story, with anything. But here's the thing, that silence, it's not a gap to fix. It's a space to honor. Sometimes silence is where the truth settles, where someone catches up to what they just said out loud, where clarity arrives without force. The pause rule means trusting that silence is part of the conversation, not the absence of it. If you hold the space instead of rushing it, people feel safe to go deeper because they know you're not afraid of what they need time to find. 8. The timing rule. You're on a walk with a friend. It's been lighthearted, silly, gentle. Now the sun's going down, the conversation is slowing, and then you say it. By the way, did you ever get closure about your mom? The air tightens. They glance at the sky. They say, that's a lot. I should get going soon. And you feel it instantly. The shift, the disconnection. You meant well, but you dropped a heavy question when the emotional window had already closed. Here's the rule. Big conversations need open rooms. When someone's mentally shutting down, don't make them open a vault. Wait until the moment has enough air. Timing isn't censorship. It's care. Because the best questions are the ones asked when someone has space to answer fully. 7. The activation rule. You've had a hard day. No, a hard week. Nothing huge. Just life doing that thing where it stacks small things until it all feels like too much. Your phone buzzes. A message. Let me know if you need anything. You love them for saying it, but also you don't reply because you don't know what to say. Then another message comes. Want to talk later? I can bring snacks. No pressure. And it hits different. The first message was care. The second was activation. Kindness is beautiful, but action is easier to receive. When someone's drowning in decision fatigue, vague offers feel like extra work. The best help is simple, specific, low friction. Try, I'm going to the store. Want me to grab you something? I'm around this weekend if you need to vent. Want a call or a walk? Small differences, massive impact. 6. The inclusion rule. You're at a dinner party. Music hums. Laughter floats. You're in a circle of conversation. Banter, sarcasm, fast exchanges. Then you spot someone near the edge. Quiet. Alone by the drinks. They're half smiling, but it doesn't reach their eyes. You could ignore it. You could stay in the flow. But instead, you lean back, shift your shoulder slightly, open the space, and slowly, they drift over. Not because you called them out, but because you called them in, without words. Inclusion isn't about invitations, and it's about availability. The people who make the best room are the ones who adjust the shape of their presence to make space for others without demanding attention for it. You won't be praised for this, but someone's entire night might change, and you'll walk home knowing you saw them, and more importantly, you let them be seen. 5. The mercy rule. It's rush hour. You're inching forward in bumper-to-bumper traffic. The sun is in your eyes. Your playlist just hit the same ad 3 times. Then you see them. A car trying to merge. Clearly late. Clearly not in the correct lane. You tense up. Why should you let them in? You did everything right. But then something in you softens. Because you remember traffic isn't personal. It's a social system. And keeping that system from collapsing means giving grace, even when it's annoying. So you ease off the gas and let them through. No wave, no thanks, just civility. This is the mercy rule. Not because they earned it, but because the world works better when we choose peace over pettiness. 4. The self-awareness rule. You're walking across a parking lot. You trip on a crack and flail a bit, but catch yourself. It wasn't dramatic, but it was awkward. You look up, a couple nearby saw the whole thing. One of them smirks. You have a choice. Act like nothing happened. Pretend to be invisible. Or grin and say, wow, that crack really jumped out of nowhere. And suddenly everything shifts because the moment you name the awkward, it loses its bite. You take the sting away by owning it. That's the self-awareness rule. When you joke first, you turn embarrassment into connection. It's not self-deprecating. It's self-anchoring. You're not making fun of yourself. You're freeing everyone from the pressure of pretending to be perfect. People don't remember the stumble. They remember the laugh. 3. The empathy rule. You're curled up on the couch with a friend, warm tea in hand. The TV flickers in the background, low volume. Your friend exhales and says, lately my mind's been spinning non-stop. You feel it. You've been there. You want to connect. So you say, I totally get it. Last month I had the worst panic attacks. And just like that, something shifts. Because while your intent was closeness, what they needed was space. They weren't asking you to match their story. They were asking you to honor theirs. Empathy isn't about one-upping. It's not, I feel that too. It's, I feel you. The better move? Pause. Let their experience be the center of gravity. Try. That sounds really hard. I'm here with you. Empathy doesn't echo. It absorbs. It's not a mirror. It's a cushion. 2. The seat rule. You walk into a quiet waiting room. Only a few chairs are taken. You scan the space. The perfect seat is dead center. Best view of the clock. Ideal spacing from others. But you don't take it. You slide into one by the edge. Why? Because you've learned something unspoken. Good design isn't just for apps. It's for human space too. Sitting in the middle when others are arriving means people will have to climb over you, squeeze past you, disturb the flow. The smarter move? Leave access. Create lanes. Not because it's required, but because it's thoughtful. This is invisible social intelligence. Not drawing attention. Not blocking paths. Not making it harder for others to exist around you. It's a kind of silent choreography. A social rhythm. You feel it even when you can't explain it. And the people who follow it, they make the world smoother without anyone noticing, except maybe in a quiet sigh of relief. 1. The listening rule. You're at a park bench, watching the last light fade behind the trees. Your friend sits beside you, quiet, picking at a loose thread on their sleeve. Then, almost out of nowhere, they say it. I think I'm falling apart. No drama, no tears, just 5 words packed with exhaustion. You shift slightly toward them. You nod. You want to help. So your brain does what it's wired to do. Offer a solution. Maybe you should take a break, or talk to someone, or journal. That helps me. But something changes. Their shoulders tighten. Their gaze drifts. The connection begins to fade. Not because you didn't care, but because you skipped a step. They didn't speak to be solved. They spoke to be seen, to be witnessed. Sometimes the kindest response isn't a strategy. It's stillness. It's staying in the moment, in the discomfort, in the space with them. A better line? Do you want advice, or do you just want me to listen? That one sentence flips the whole script. It says, I trust you to know what you need. It says, I'm here, not as a fixer, but as a friend. Because listening isn't waiting to talk. It's creating a pause where healing can begin. These unwritten rules, they're not commands, they're care codes. They're the invisible social software we run on, built from empathy, shaped by awareness, tested in the small, everyday choices that say, I see you, I consider you. I'm not perfect, but I'm trying to move through the world in a way that makes it gentler for both of us. No one will give you a trophy for holding space, or for picking the aisle seat, or for offering low-friction help, but someone will feel a little more human because of it. And that's how quiet intelligence echoes.